This is my deck dinner for July the 1st. No, 2nd. 2nd today. So there's my plate of garlic. And I'm allowing myself a special treat today because I read a book this morning that mentioned it. And no, it's not especially healthy. I guess I'll show you the ingredients. Anyway. And that was the point in the book, that it wasn't especially healthy. So to be careful about certain things like that, because the person who wrote the book, I'll talk about it in a minute, they were talking about how it's best to eat a whole foods kind of diet, right? And anyway, so there's the salad that I made from, basically from recipe. I used some of my ginger mint. Now, how I varied the recipe is I maybe put a little more sumac than they did. And let's see, I used red chili paste in it, but other than that, I kept it pretty much the same. I used less olive oil. And I'll shake that up before I eat it, and that'll be that. So I'll set that there for now. And I suppose I will set this up here so that I have hands to show what I want to show. Okay, so quick that shot again or I'll forget. It'll be everywhere. So anyway, we watched this. It was a rain day today, if you didn't notice the water all over the table. And I enjoyed the sound of it, but they did it in black and white to be artful somehow. I mean, Ireland? Come on. That would have been so nice and green, right? People who do that are ridiculous. We watched this. Well, the dogs mostly watched it. It was okay. James enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy this. I didn't think it was very believable, and I personally find it offensive when people do movies about people with certain disorders, and they just go with like the stereotypical kind of symptoms rather than, you know, there's a whole range. Anyway, and this was horrible. It was so gruesome and revolting. Nobody should watch this. Okay, so that's it for the movies that we were watching over the past while. I guess a couple days. Now, the salad that I made here is from this recipe book, and I used orange tomatoes on purpose too, because this was the book that I read this morning, which was very good, and everyone should read it. And she mentioned that you should eat the smallest, reddest tomatoes because they have the most lycopene in them. But, you know, I figure you should make your meals interesting. And some days, small red tomatoes, other days, maybe some orange tomatoes. Why not? You know, grow them yourself and you have a healthier tomato. Anyway, this salad was tomato, garlic, and sumac salad from page 99, and it has tomatoes, mint, sea salt, sumac, garlic cloves, olive oil, lemon juice. Did I get that right? I think so. And well, mine has the what do you call it in it? Thai chili paste. Okay, so I guess I should start with this book, because this was the one that I was very excited about this morning, formerly known as Food by Kristen Lawless. And she mentions a few things in here. A lot of things. I took a lot of notes from this one. And for me, this inspires me to eat healthier. Like this, I'm just doing this for a joke. It's not going to kill me. And it's funny because she mentions her friend opening her friend's cupboard, and her friend had this and some other things, and she was like, God, it's not much better than the pop Pop-Tarts and stuff that I see in other people's cupboards, you know. But you know what? It is a little bit better. Because often I feel that way too. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? But you know what? I have lentil balls right there with a really healthy sauce and the cilantro and the carrots and the eggplant and stuff and red onions. I feel pretty good about that part. And I feel pretty good about this, even though my tomatoes aren't small and red. But let's see if I can find one thing that, I don't entirely agree with this. Now she says demand payment for cooking and other household work. And she wants people to be financially able to cook at home, and I agree. You have to have somebody at home, a caretaker kind of person, not necessarily a woman, but probably a woman who is willing to educate themselves a lot on the subject of nutrition so that they can do the best that they can for their family. And for themselves, right? But anyway, so a program that would pay people to cook at home, especially while taking care of small children, is crucial to improving our individual health. Well, if you're just giving people some sort of a subsidy kind of program where they stay at home to feed their children, they're going to be feeding them Pop-Tarts and doing whatever they want in their spare time. There's a lot of people out there who don't value education. They don't know about nutrition, and they will never learn. You know, I was taking this budgeting course, and both James and I were, which didn't help us at all because we already know how to budget. But anyway, and it was a bit of an eye-opener because the people that we were taking the course with, they didn't know how to budget, and they didn't know any better when they left the course, and I can guarantee that. Either you're taught these life skills early on by watching parents who have them, or you don't have them yourself. Like one of the guys, he was talking about how he had, like James and I were mentioning, that we went to the public library to use the computer and to use the internet, right? And he was saying, you know, I should do that because I have Wi-Fi that I've bought, and I don't even have anything to hook up to it. And I'm just like, what in the world? You know, why would you do that? It's like buying cable and not having a television set. It's ridiculous, you know? So, and at the end of the program, another guy had said something, no, he brought in a coffee, and one of the teachers commented on it because, like, he went and bought this coffee, and this whole thing was about, you don't have any money, you have to learn how to, you know, really pinch those pennies, and here he's going out buying a coffee, and it's like, whoa, right at the end of the course. So, I mean, there's really only so much you can do. Yeah, I don't know. I've struggled with trying to teach my family members about nutrition, and I don't know how to do it either, you know. People just have to read things like this on their own and really be into it, you know, really want to learn about things like this. And then they might change, right? But there's, you know, it's tough. Anyway, I have a lot that I would like to write on the subject, since she has mentioned it. So, yeah. But what I want to say is that I am inspired to eat healthier when I read this rather than this, certainly this. This was, and the books that I showed you from yesterday. And this I really got nothing out of, but I don't know why I didn't expect to get anything out of it, you know. But I'm not saying it's a bad book. I would have loved to have this book or access to it from the public library, as I borrowed it now. When I was in my 20s, I would have loved it. Especially for times like Christmas or whatever. I did make a lot of people fudge and cashew brittle and stuff like that for Christmas treats. And now I don't. And people are probably like, boo-hoo, where's the fudge and cashew brittle? But I just can't bring myself to do it anymore. And I did write down a recipe for fig Newtons out of this book. Like, she gives chocolate bar recipes, all sorts of things, and they're made way better than I know the original stuff from the store is made. Like, her things will have things like orange zest or whatever. Anyway, good stuff. But I mean, I'll have to really change out the recipe so that I feel good about it. But because the way I feel about it, I don't really want to make anything unless it's healthy now. You know, unless I'm trying to do something positive for my health, I don't feel good about it. So I couldn't make this, even though it would be yummy. And I know it. I can taste things while I read recipes, so I know this is a really yummy recipe book. But the thing that I enjoyed most was learning about candy sprinkles. I don't know why I didn't realize, like, I was reading the recipe and I'm like, it's icing, and then I'm like, duh, of course it's icing. That's what candy sprinkles are. But I mean, like she was pointing out, you can flavor them any way you want, or, you know, so it's kind of exciting if you want to make your own candy sprinkles. So anyway, now this was a ridiculous book. This one was so badly written. It's stunning. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like just giving up. If this is the kind of thing that gets published. Ugh. The first sentence I will read in the introduction, the first thing she writes: salads suffer from stereotypes, comma, but this couldn't be further from the truth. I just about went cross-eyed. I'm like, oh my gosh. And she got published. That what she is saying in that sentence, she's meaning to say that the stereotypes about salads are false. She does not say that because she is a moron and doesn't know how to write. So what she is saying, that her first part of the sentence, salads suffer from stereotypes, couldn't be further from the truth. What a moron. And it was, you know, pretty much at that level throughout. Like, it's really not, none of these recipes are very inspiring. Anyway, but this one was pretty good. It got me to make a few smoothie-ish kind of things. I mean, they had some ridiculous things in here. Like, they wanted everything to be so you could eat it in a bowl, right? That's their whole theme that they're going with here. So she put stupid things in a bowl, like omelets. Come on. Give me a break. Anyway, but most of the recipes are, I think, pretty healthy, and they're things that most people would enjoy eating. Like, there are a lot of meat recipes in here and stuff like that, and people like that. So, whatever. But I liked a couple of the smoothie recipes. Okay. I mean, I changed them up a little bit, but whatever. And I would have loved this book when I was 20. Anyway, so that's about it. But again, all of these recipe books, this one inspires me to eat better. So let's see how this is. But I am glad that I got out the Palestinian one, because I've made a fair amount of the... Is it Palestinian? Yep. I've made a fair amount of the recipes out of it. This looks pretty good, shaky. I was talking so long my food is cold. That's okay. It's actually kind of yummy macaroni and cheese. But you know, it might be red. It might be like the other brands, and after the third spoonful I'll be like, this is disgusting. Who knows? So, the mint I got from the garden, and I do think that people should eat whole foods, of course. But I don't think, like, she starts out her book. We'll talk about this one again, because I was really excited about this book. I really enjoyed it. She starts out her book saying, it's if your food is whole, then it should be a part of your diet. If it's not, then it shouldn't be a part of your diet. And it's really as simple as that. And she gives the example of an egg. They always give the example of an egg because it's a very easy example to give, right? And but once you get beyond egg, it's pretty much not as simple as that, right? You have to give it a little bit of thought. Because, well, you're not going to eat a whole tomato plant because the leaves are poisonous. But you should eat tomato fruit. It's good for you. Perfection. So easy. Totally. Okay. So again, that recipe was out of this book. Delicious. Absolutely. All I did was, rather than putting the green chilies in, is I put a little bit of red chili paste. That's all I did. Thai red chili paste. So I have a little bit of, like, it's going to have a little bit different flavor than theirs too, because it has galang root in the, I don't know if I say it right, in the paste, which is sort of gingery flavor, and my mint is ginger mint, so it's gonna have a little gingery flavor to it, but this is amazing. James is gonna love it. I'll save him some of that. He isn't hungry right now, so he didn't come out. But I think really the key, I mean, it's good to think along the lines of whole foods, right, when you're eating, but more importantly, nutrient dense. So with the orange tomatoes, I'm not quite hitting it, right? I'm sure not hitting it with the with this stuff, the box that keeps falling over. Not nailing it with that. But all in all, I mean, nobody could argue this isn't a healthy salad. This is a healthy tomato salad, and delicious. And my lentil ball, which I will be eating a lot of this week because I made a ton of them, and James doesn't like them, so I'm not going to make him eat them because he won't. When I'll serve him up things that he doesn't like so much, it just stays on his plate. He doesn't eat them. So what's the point? Seriously, I could eat that tomato salad every day. And it was really easy to make. I just put the juice of one small, so it was like an organic kind of tomato, right? In that container. It just keeps falling over for me. So you can pretty much figure out, I mean, you saw the ingredients on top. I hadn't shaken it up yet when I showed it to you at first, so just put that much in. It was 2 cloves of garlic in there. Well, I don't think I have anything else to say about these things, so I think that's it. I'll return them to the library tomorrow, and then you can take them out.